the Comedy Crossword Podcast.
Hey, welcome to One Down, the Comedy Crossword Podcast. I'm Brendan Eyre, joined...
Whoa. That's how you're going to start off the podcast?
Yeah, that's how we do it, Greg.
Yeah, that's how we did it until last week when we probably should have learned something from an artist that has billions of hits on YouTube and an album that went 17 times platinum. That's not how you start things off.
Oh, you're talking, of course, about Luis Fonsi
and
Despacito. Can I try again?
Yeah.
Brendan! Welcome to One Down, the Comedy Crossword Podcast. My name is Brendan Eyre. I'm here, of course, with Greg Warren. If you enjoy the podcast, what would really be some help to us is if you could rate it, you could review it, and you could subscribe to it. All of those things take less than a minute, and we'd sure appreciate it. Greg, how you doing this week, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. 5 weeks now in quarantine. Still one of the worst dishwasher loaders in history. I can get about 6 forks, 2 plates, a pot, and a glass. It's full. I don't know how, but it's full, man. I do dishes. I do about 6 loads a day. It's not good.
Have you considered, because this is absolutely true, when I am when I go through St. Louis when I'm on the road, Greg is often gracious enough to allow me to stay at his place. Beautiful place. And Greg, you might not expect it from a guy who never understands a crossword theme, but Greg is actually a fantastic cook. He's a fantastic cook, and he's always cooking stuff for me, and it's wonderful. He's a good baker also. You bake cookies with your niece every year.
Yeah.
And But I will say, your dishwasher is almost constantly open, first of all. You're not a dishwasher. You're not a dishwasher closer. You're a keep it open till it's time to wash the dishes type of guy.
Scars on my shins to prove that.
And there's generally 4 items in there and then 17 to 27 items in your sink waiting for the next round.
That's not true. That's not true, man. That's not true. I keep it moving. That's just not true.
You keep it, but there's 4 items at a time is what you're getting in there, and that's about it.
But I mean, I don't think the sink is that backed up, man.
Have you considered a YouTube tutorial or maybe a Marie Kondo book? I
don't think I'm good enough to do a YouTube tutorial on that, Brendan. I don't think I.
Yes, I meant watch one, Greg. I meant watch one.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll take a look at it. They have those, you think?
I mean, check the children's section. But
there was a children's section. What about you, man? What about you?
I'm similarly having some embarrassing circumstances. We're under quarantine, and one thing that I think is great that has arisen from this, obviously there's a lot of tragedy going on in the world with the coronavirus, but people are feeling this urge to connect with old friends, and it's interesting. And my girlfriend was speaking to a friend who she hadn't talked to in several years, and I happened to be in the other room overhearing their conversation, and I could tell the conversation had moved on to her relationship with me. Obviously, this friend, they haven't spoken in years, so I'm a new thing to this friend. And, I hear my girlfriend go, yeah, he's great. He's great. Yeah, he's a comic. He does this. And there's some silence for a while. And then she goes, I'm not really sure. I think like 6'2". And then she gets off the phone, and I go, did you just tell your friend I was 6'2"? And then she plays it off as if she doesn't have a good understanding of height and thought I was 6'2". Now,
so you think she was just embarrassed that you're short?
Yeah. And I'm not short. I'm 5'9", which is above the world average. That's what are you, Greg? 6 even? or what are you?
No, I'm 5'8.5", and I think I'm taller than you.
You're not taller than me because I'm exactly 5'9", measured by the doctor. Exactly 5'9".
It's a doctor. Sorry,
yeah.
man.
So she's trying to play it off. Not that she lied to her friend to impress her friend with my height. That just she thought I am 6'2" this entire time.
No, I thought you were 6'2" and Hispanic. And,
but a blonde Hispanic with chiseled abs. You're not any of those things? That's weird. I still love you. It's fine. But this was an interesting week crossword-wise. We got beef with shorts, man.
A lot of beef.
And we'll get into it, but the difficulty levels, for those of you that are newer to crosswords or maybe even not a crossword person, because we have been getting feedback that this is being listened to by people that don't even like crosswords. If you're not a crossword person, this is generally how it goes. The difficulty increases Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday is just bigger than everything else, but it's not harder. It's generally about a Thursday, between a Wednesday and Thursday level difficulty, sometimes harder. This week was all over the place, man. It was the Wednesday and the Thursday, Greg, were not Wednesday and Thursday puzzles.
Not at all, man. That Wednesday was a Saturday. It was damn near a Saturday. That Thursday was a Saturday. We had about 5 Saturdays and a Monday this week.
The Thursday was, let me tell you, at a different day, okay? Something beyond Saturday, because the Thursday was almost impossible.
The Super Saturday, you're saying?
Yeah, add a Super Saturday there. But let's start on Monday, April 13th. This was a Evan Kalish. I don't like to toot my own horn, Greg, but I think I set close to a Monday time record for myself. I did it in 6:16, which I was pretty proud of. Yeah, I was pretty zoomed through that. The theme seemed to be an increasing flow of water, basically. So you had these 4 answers that were trickle down, streamline, river dance, and flood light. So you went trickle, stream, river, flood. So,
I didn't pick up on that.
You never do. Never do.
It's kind of cool now.
It's not. Yeah, it's pretty cool now that you have someone explain it to you.
40 across, mindless card game, war. What?
I almost flipped my lid on this thing.
Are you kidding me? There is a lot of strategy, a lot of gamesmanship in war. People don't know how to play war. All right?
Evan Kalish is some kind of war idiot, okay?
Yeah,
because
I'd like to play Evan in war. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You think in between matches Bobby Fischer was practicing chess? No. He was sharpening his mind with a harder game. War.
Yeah. And Fischer beat the Russian in war, I think, at one point.
Yeah, it was big, and it was not televised.
And I think the Russian beat the computer in war at one point.
And that's tough. That is tough.
Real tough to beat the computer in war. Yeah.
Now, 49 across. And this is a word that maybe we got to consider adding to our Bonefish Grill list if it's not already on there. It may already be on there, but very long stretches of time. And, of course, it's eons or eon. Yes. Is that the Bonefish Grill?
Oh, man,
dang it. Is that the Monday clue of the week?
That's the Monday clue of the week. That is not the Monday clue of the week. It's not easy enough.
Oh, false Monday clue of the week, man.
Man, this podcast is just going off the... I'm sorry. I apologize to the listeners. I apologize to my my partner, Brendan. What I meant to say was...
The Bonefish Grill girl's bicycle horn has honked again. Now... Eon comes up all the time. So I decided, Greg, let me look this up. Let me figure out what an eon is, right?
A lot of time. Yeah.
Well, here's the problem with eon. There are 2 definitions of eon.
Okay.
Definition 1, a very long, unspecified period of time. Definition 2, in astronomy, a billion years. Those are two very different. Oh man, we were going out to a restaurant. I took an eon for my girlfriend to get ready.
A billion years?
No,
Your
man.
girlfriend
Definition
took
one,
a billion
Greg.
years?
Definition 1, Greg.
Oh, so just a long time.
A long unspecified period of time. Yes, exactly.
Okay. As well as having not a clear definition, the word does not have a clear spelling. Because I've seen it on this puzzle with AEONS several times.
Absolutely. And I don't know. I haven't done the research. That might be an entirely different span of time.
Oh, that's 6 billion years. And here's the thing, Brendan. If you look at this puzzle, right next to it is the word czar, which has about 17 different spellings.
They've got to just choose one way of spelling czar and stick to it.
Yeah.
They've got S... or TSAR.
TSAR.
And CZAR.
AR. And that's just so far. You don't know what these guys are capable of.
No, you don't.
Kalish could spell it with a 7.
Who knows? Now, 24 down is some diagnostic scans for short. Those are MRIs. I have never had an MRI. You've had an MRI, right?
Several. It's whoever invented that machine, Brendan. Sick person.
What's it like? It scares
Here's how I
me.
think the meeting went when they had that machine. They were like, all right, we got this new machine. Now the people that are going to be using it, they're going to be injured. So they'll be nervous. They're also going to be claustrophobic because we are shoving them in a tube. So the way that we should put them at ease is to make this thing sound like they're being riddled with machine gun fire. You're in there, it's quiet, and then you hear... How you doing in there? I think I'm hit!
Hey, man, I'm not quite... anxious enough. Is there any way you could add the sounds of a World War II Gatling gun?
14 across, large Starbucks order. Of course, that's venti. Brendan, you're a Starbucks vet. We've talked about that before. You spent a lot of time there. You were a good Starbucks employee from what I understand. What size would you say was the most frequently purchased size at Starbucks?
At my Starbucks, honestly, a grande.
Grande, which is basically a medium.
A medium,
right?
Yep, absolutely.
Were you in the business when they had moved to Trenta, or was it just Vente was the biggest?
That was prior to me. Were I still there, I don't think that would have gone through.
What do you mean?
I would have put my foot down.
So you're saying you had the ability to change policy at Starbucks?
Well, I did invent the Frappuccino with the pastry added into the actual blender.
What? You invented it. You invented a Starbucks item.
Well, yes. So a vanilla bean Frappuccino, if you don't know, is basically a vanilla milkshake. Now, I invented a thing where you take a piece of the reduced fat blueberry coffee cake and you put it into that milkshake. Now, It was so good that this thing was flying off the shelves. People started ordering it at other Starbucks in the area. And then the district manager sent out a memo to all the managers, because you're very much not allowed, it turns out, to invent menu items. And the district manager sent out a memo to all the managers, so we had a store meeting and said, has anyone been selling an item that is a piece of blueberry coffee cake in a vanilla bean Frappuccino? And I said, you mean the blueberry coffee cake, vanilla bean Frappuccino? Yeah, I've been selling it, and I've been selling a hell of a lot of it. And they put the kibosh on that pretty quickly, Greg.
Man, that really disappoints me, and it surprises me about Starbucks, because that's the sort of entrepreneurship. I had a tough one with...
move on. It was close enough, man.
Tough time with that word. I've always had a tough time with that word. It's a terrible word. Entrepreneurship, that's the kind of thing that you want from your employees, but they squashed it. You would have been an asset to Starbucks.
Well, what I expected to see, and this did not occur, so it turned out I was just in the wrong. But I thought they were going to squash it, then re-release it themselves a couple months later.
And then say, it was their own idea.
Claim it as their own. But and I had my lawyer all set to go. But now, 6, I believe this is 6 across. I didn't write it on my thing. It could be 6 down. Let me open up my thing. This was
I got my. You tell me what it is, man. I'll let you know.
It's a 6 down element discovered by Marie and Pierre Curie. This Madame Curie. This was of course radium. Now Marie died of radiation exposure because they didn't really know the dangers at the time, and they didn't know the precautions to take. In fact, many of her most vital research papers, Greg, to this day still need to be handled or studied with protective equipment on because they're so radioactive. Now,
that's not true, is it?
Yeah, I swear to God. Yes, absolutely.
Really?
100% true, yes. Now, Pierre also died of exposure. It was a very interesting, a different kind of exposure. Do you know what that is?
No.
He was exposed to being run over by a horse.
Okay. That's a very different kind of exposure.
Yes, equally dangerous, it turns out.
And no more pleasant than radiation poisoning.
Possibly worse. Yes, possibly worse.
That's the Brendan Eyre moment of morbidity. We usually have one on this podcast. He goes a little dark sometimes. 25 across, team pulling a plow. Of course, that's oxen.
Yes.
And that's a team, right?
A team of oxen, yes.
Right. Yet, what major sports franchise is called the Oxen?
None.
And they're teams, Brendan. They're all sports teams, yet none of them are called Oxen.
That's ridiculous. I've never thought of it that way, and that's ridiculous. And I'll top you on that, Greg, and piggyback off that. Nobody's called oxen, but we got about almost 20 professional sports teams named after birds. And
a lot of birds out there, a
lot of birds.
My favorite sports team is
of course, the Cardinals. You got the Cardinals, the Penguins,
Blue Jays,
the Ducks, the Blue Jays, the Orioles, the Falcons, the Seahawks, the Hawks,
and not one oxen team.
Not one oxen.
If there's a new team somewhere, an expansion team, I'm begging you, call them the Oxen.
They're strong, steady, reliable.
Yes, man. Who doesn't? Merchandise would be through the roof, I think.
Yeah.
You could sell yokes and stuff like that.
Hey man, what are you wearing? What do you mean? What am I wearing? It's for the Ann Arbor Oxen. It's a yoke. It's a yoke. I'm trying to find another guy to stand next to me, but until then, I'll wear it alone.
Let's go to Tuesday, buddy.
Tuesday, April 14th. This was a Joe Hansen. This is a theme was just fingers. Basically, you had these shaded boxes as part of down answers that contained every finger on the hand. So you had middle of the road, thumb, war, body mass index, little, Eva, and boxing ring. Taking care of all 5 fingers. So
got them all.
Good work, Hansen. Didn't miss a single one.
35 down, Venetian blind part. That is a slat. Venetian blinds, those go horizontal. Did you know that, Brendan?
Yes, those are the ones that sort of hang down with the slats. Yes, I do know those.
Do you think there's anybody in Venice that has vertical blinds?
I've never been to Venice. I would venture to say no.
I think it's against the law.
Yeah, is that because now?
Hey, what are you doing? These they're supposed to go across. These are up and down. No up and down. No up and down blinds. That's you're fine. You're fine. 7,000 lira. No up and down. You got to cross. What you think this is? What you think this is, Florence?
I'm laughing so hard at your accent and concept because I don't understand why. I don't quite follow why the Venetians would frown upon horizontal blinds.
Because they're not Venetian blinds.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Hey, I want this.
No, up and down. No, up and down. Across.
Next thing you know, you're going to be wanting to drive a car with roads, okay? we do water here.
Boats, yes.
Yeah. Now, I don't know why that's so funny to me, Greg.
I don't either. It's a dead on Italian accent. I don't know what.
24 cross. Preserved as pastrami, and that's cured.
Yeah,
Greg, I didn't even know the pastrami was sick.
No, Brennan, it's cured has a different meaning. It's got a couple of different meanings. You'll find that with some words. We do a word podcast, so it's a little late for you to get that. But cured it has to do with, I think, brining, salting, maybe seasoning the meat.
That is unfortunate for you because I have written several other bad lunch meat jokes.
I'm all for them, man. I'm all for them.
Hey, Greg, what happened to the turkey's golf shot?
What was that?
It was sliced.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gold. A. You give that an A.
Why was the cheese lonely?
I don't know.
Because he was always provolone.
Oh, boy. I got to go C- on that one.
What do you say to the cheap sandwich that's lying?
What do you say to the cheap sandwich that's lying? I don't know.
Hey, man, you're full of baloney.
Nice. That guy, you rebounded there. A+ on that one.
Great.
You got about a B+ average here.
Great. Those are my three bad lunch meat jokes.
What was the cheese one?
Because he was always provolone alone. I should have figured out.
Why wouldn't it be? He was a craft single.
Man, that's better.
I think it's better.
It's way better. It's way better.
I don't want to one up you or anything like that.
No, you did, and I can't be mad because you did. The podcast is called One Down, but I just got one upped.
I am not a one upper, man.
No, you're not. You're not a known one upper. I'll tell you that.
No.
But when you one up me with good intentions, I'll give you the credit. And the craft single would have been the right, proper punchline for that joke, unless I could have thought of a way to work the prove part of alone into there as a double pun, But I didn't know what prove sounded like.
Given the time, I know you could do it. 41 down, hand-to-hand combat. The answer is thumb war. Those are that's a thing of the past right there. Thumb war. You're not going to find many of those anymore, huh?
Well,
I mean, maybe with some protective gloves, but I don't see many thumb wars going on.
You're talking about during coronavirus. No, yeah. Especially
I'm saying during and after. That's from what I understand. That's how it started.
Well, especially that's how it. One guy ate a bat and then did a thumb war.
A thumb war with a bat. I don't know if a lot of people know that bats do have thumbs.
Well, one thing that's going to drastically increase is your spontaneous street thumb war challenges. You're not going to get those with strangers. You might get your thumb, and those have always been a staple, of city living. Is you're walking down the street.
Yeah. You live right in Brooklyn. That's kind of how a lot of decisions get made.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. A guy gives me a dirty look. I say, "Hey, buddy, 1, 2, 3, 4. I challenge you to a thumb war." And
how many of them back down?
a lot. Okay, when
Yes, I thought, yeah.
when they see these little stubby sausages of thumbs I'm rocking, they know they've got nothing on me. Now, 23 across, actor Efron. This is Zach, of course.
Zac Efron.
I got a great Zac Efron story.
Really?
Yeah. When I did Adam Devine's house party, the show on Comedy Central.
Yep.
And they were nice enough to fly me out to Hawaii. And the reason they did it in Hawaii was because Adam Devine wanted to do it at this resort in Hawaii, where he stayed when he was filming a movie with Zac Efron. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was that they were kind of wedding dates.
Zach and Mike go to the wedding.
Yeah,
or something like that.
And Adam Devine really liked the resort and liked Hawaii, so he wanted to stay there. So I lucked out on that because I got flown to Hawaii to do 5 minutes of stand-up. And
you killed it on that. Man.
Yeah, it was a fun show. That was fun. But so he tells me this story about, because it's interesting when you talk to a celebrity about a guy who's a way bigger celebrity. You know what I mean? Like Adam Devine is Pitch Perfect made him famous, and he's recognizable everywhere he goes.
Modern Family. Yeah.
But Zac Efron is like, he's a megastar. And so Adam Devine was telling me, he said how like his life is just so crazy, and he has this bodyguard that is formerly Israeli Special Forces. And so one day, Zac Efron, he's up in his penthouse or wherever he's staying in this resort, and a paparazzi has a drone up there filming him through his window, one of those little drones with a camera on it. And he comes and he lands it, and the paparazzi goes away in a car. And this former Israeli commando commandeers someone's motorcycle. It's not his motorcycle. He takes someone else's motorcycle from the front of the hotel. Just someone pulls up to the hotel, and this Israeli commando goes, I need that, and gets on a motorcycle and chases through the windy roads of the North Shore of Oahu, cuts off this paparazzi's car in the middle of the road, comes up to the window, doesn't say anything to the guy, opens the back seat, takes the drone, and smashes it on the ground, comes back to the resort and goes, here is your motorcycle back.
That guy needs a bonus, man.
Yeah,
that guy
needs a bonus.
And he's guarding Adam Devine. Who do you think's guarding Efron?
No, he's guarding Zac Efron. Adam Devine. Adam doesn't need a bodyguard.
I got you.
This was Zac Efron's.
I see.
Bodyguard.
Yeah.
That's the level of fame Zac Efron's at, where he's got a.
Devine didn't get one of those guys.
No, I don't think he really needs one. He's pretty under the radar. He's the nicest guy in the world. So it's like, people bother him, and he doesn't mind, really.
That's fantastic, man.
Says hello.
That's a good story, buddy. I can't one-up that one, that's for sure.
No. Well, God knows you would try.
That's it. I'm not that guy, man. 36 down, the Locomotion singer, 1962. That was Little Eva. Little Eva was the babysitter for Carole King and Gary Coffin, who were married, and they wrote that song. And they're like, we should just have our babysitter sing it.
Wow. Is that true?
It's true. Yeah. Now, Grand Funk Railroad covered that song later on in the 80s or 70s. And knowing what I know about the Railroad, I don't think those guys were babysitting for anybody. But
no, I don't think so. Hey, Timmy, we're going to the movies. I'd like to introduce you to your new babysitter, the entirety of Grand Funk Railroad.
Where's the whiskey, brother?
You're old enough to drink, right, Timmy?
He's 9. No, Grand Funk. You can't do that.
Oh, that's good, man. That's funny. That's interesting. But I imagine she got the babysitter gig because she was in the industry in some way or something. That seems kind of
again, Brendan. This podcast is not about depth of research. We just we skim the surface.
Okay, well we got to keep it moving. I think Wednesday, April 15th. This is where things started to get hard. This was a John Clark Levine and a Jeff Chen. Interestingly enough, John Clark Levine. I should mention his name is John Clark, last name Levine. You don't get a lot of hyphenated first names, maybe with women like Mary Lou, but that's an interesting move there.
Mary Lou's not hyphenated, though, is it? It's just two
I think
words.
It can be, not often, but it could be.
Right.
It could be. But John Clark is the man's first name. Which
This was a serious argument between a mother and father about whether to name the kid John or Clark.
yeah. Yeah, and originally it was a backslash, and they John Clark changed that because it just was too unorthodox. The theme was anagrams in shaded squares that mirrored each other on each side of the puzzle. So you had Griffin and Riffing. You had Emanate and Manatee, Holds Out, Old South, Athens, and the NSA. And I will say, Greg, because this was a hard puzzle.
This was no Wednesday.
This was
not a Wednesday.
Not a Wednesday. Yeah. That theme, once I figured it out, proved to be very, very helpful.
It was really helpful. Yeah, it was head to toe was the theme because it's really hard to explain. But yeah, the way they sort of shift, that's how you get the anagram.
Well, basically
you take the bottom letter,
yes,
and then you put it on top and slot everything down, and that gives you the answer. But Michael Clark Duncan or whoever and Jeff Chen need to learn what a Wednesday is. This is no Wednesday.
It's no Wednesday.
I got it. I barely got it. But I do think, we should probably talk right now. I wound up going 5 for 7. I missed this one, and I missed the Sunday barely. No, I missed Thursday. I'm sorry. I missed Thursday, and I missed the Sunday. And I think the reason I didn't go clean was because this one wore me down. I spent so much energy on finishing a Wednesday that I just didn't have it in me to finish the rest of the week. I went 5 for 7. What about you?
I went 6 for 7. The Thursday busted me out. Hardest Thursday possibly of all time. But I will say it was my own fault, and we'll get there when we get to Thursday. It was my own darn fault, Greg.
It's good to see you take responsibility.
I could have got it. I do say it was too hard for a Thursday, but I also... I'll admit it was within my grasp, and I blew it. I blew it for a reason we'll get to at that time. But 48 across on Wednesday, she said, quote, "Little boy gonna make you a man," end quote, in a Kinks song. And that's Lola.
Lola was a man, right?
Yes. Now, this song just always fascinates me for several reasons. First of all, so far ahead of its time. This came out in 1970. It's talking about a trans person in 1970 and was a huge hit. Nobody had a problem with it. It was a huge hit.
They did rhyme Lola with Coca-Cola, I believe, and that's how you made a song back those days.
Well, you're saying that rhyme scheme was too easy?
No, I'm saying it was an effective rhyme scheme, and sort of as a poppy song. You rhyme Lola and Cola, you're going to have a hit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, here's the problem. What's funny is that song was banned in a lot of places, and people are going, "Yeah, you should ban that song about a man being seduced by a man who thinks he's a woman." And it's like, no, man, that's not why we're banning it. They use Coca-Cola. That's
Oh, really? I stole your thunder on that one, man. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But
that's the reason. Is
it was
Coca-Cola
banned in a lot of places. That's why if you listen to the song, depending on what version of the song you have, if you have the original version, it's Coca-Cola. But in most versions that you'll hear, it's Cherry Cola.
Oh, you're right. Here, I'll tell you what the fix on that should have been. I guarantee RC Cola would have let him have it.
Oh,
they wouldn't have cared.
But see, that wouldn't RC. Wait, so what the line is? Coca-Cola. RC would have worked. Should have gone with RC.
It would have worked, man. RC would have been happy.
RC would have sent them.
They needed the press at that time.
They would have sent them a case of RC Cola.
They would have, man. They would have.
And the other thing I love about this song is Ray Davies, the songwriter for the Kinks. He was willing to go as far as being sort of nearly seduced by Lola, but he makes clear by the end of the song. There's a line, well, I almost fell for my Lola. He did not go home with her.
Oh, he didn't?
No,
Okay.
he didn't. But he definitely did. That's you read the song, you're like, you're covering for something here, Ray. You went home with her, and it's fine, okay?
Yeah.
Because he's in love with this Lola. It's an endlessly fascinating song. Maybe not as humorous as I thought it might be, but
I think it's very interesting.
Yes.
The Coca-Cola thing is fascinating. 58 across. Astronomer's STD. The answer is GST. I guess I didn't know that astronomers got a specific kind of an STD. GST, I'm assuming that stands for gonorrhea space-time. I don't know.
Yeah, Greg, I was in a similar situation to you. I kept trying to write in space herpes, and it didn't fit. It didn't fit. But yeah, I was confused by that. And in being earnest, I still don't quite know what.
Neither do I.
I don't, and I didn't look it up.
And I'm not gonna.
If it really vexes me, I'll look it up. But some things, I'm just like, all right, whatever.
I'm willing to lay low on that one. I want to go to 2 down. Mythical beast, half lion, half eagle. That is a griffin.
Yes.
Brendan, do you think, because whenever they have these mythical beasts, they're always half something else. They can't always get it perfect, right? There's got to be ones like, no, ma'am, your son is 6% eagle and 94% lion.
Oh God, doctor. Oh God. Just give it to me straight. Which part of him is eagle? Which part of him is eagle?
Yeah. He's got one talon. That's it. He's got one talon, and the rest are lion paws.
I didn't want it to be the feet. Don't tell his father. Don't tell his father. He's gonna know I slept with a full-blooded lion. 64 down was the second part of the sign of the cross symbolically. That is sun.
Yeah.
Now, Greg, you're not Catholic, correct?
Nope.
I'm non-practicing, but I was baptized Catholic. Now, do you know how bad Catholics remember the proper way to do the sign of the cross?
I don't. I have a feeling this is going to lose us a lot of our Catholic listeners. But
it will not, because Catholic people embrace this. It's known in Catholic schools, but it's a very easy way to remember the correct way to do the sign of the cross. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch. That's what you go. You go head, chest, your wallet side, so your right side, and then your watch side, so your left side. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch. That's how we remember.
Chest.
Well, yeah, you don't go all the way down. They just mean towards that area. You don't keep you. They're giving the general directions, Greg. They're giving general directions. You also don't keep your wallet on the
I
right
wish you
side
would
of your
have
chest.
told my friend Carlos that, man. He gave himself a testicular torsion, and
and he's
not Catholic
welcome
anymore because of that.
And he's not welcome back at Mass. Yeah,
we gotta move on, buddy.
We do have to move, man. There's Thursday, April 16th. This was an Alan Arbsfeld, and you know what, Alan? You beat me. You beat
me too, Alan. You beat me. Straight up.
And that's it, man. It was too hard. I lost by 2 letters, Greg. And you know what I did? And I can never give you grief for this again. I missed a key part of the theme. That's what I did, and that killed it for me.
Drop me a line.
Yeah,
drop me a line. So you dropped me down a line in the middle.
Yes.
So you had Kiss Me Kate, but me was below the Kiss and the Kate, and I had a couple other ones. Hand Me Down.
Thank Me Later. So what I did...
Thank Me Later. How is Help Me Rhonda not in this? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that would have been huge. What I did was all I garnered was the drop me. I just thought Kiss were getting rid of the me's. I didn't even realize we were dropping
Took me a while on that
down
one.
too. And if I would have known that, I would have finished, because the one that busted me where I was wrong was on the biblical one that said the Ten Commandments clue.
Yeah, I didn't get this one either. What the Ten Commandments talk about spices?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't realize the drop me down. So it was repeated word in the Ten Commandments, and it was thyme, as in the spice. What I didn't realize was when you drop the me down, you're supposed to ignore the me part of it.
So it's thy.
Yes.
Thy.
Well, that's the same with, they had blank na. It's not shame na. It's sha na.
I
and
get
it's
it
not,
now.
And denial of responsibility is not no time. It's not I. So that's what, but I just blew it, man. I blew it, and that's what I missed. I missed the Y and the M in time, and that. So,
although I've denied a lot of responsibility saying no time.
Well, yeah, that's what confused me. So, I thought that was a legitimate denial of responsibility, and so then I go, well, shame na must just be something I don't know. So I that's why I missed the darn thing, and I feel like an idiot, and I could have got it. And that would have been great.
Yeah, it was a tough puzzle. I don't feel that was a fair puzzle. I don't know if it was. Maybe it was. Now that you explained that you're not supposed to use the me part of it, maybe I would have got it. I don't know. I in situ beat me too. I didn't get in situ.
Well, here's the thing, Greg. I think it was a fair puzzle. I don't think it was a Thursday puzzle. And
it was a Saturday. It was they had 9 Saturdays. It was this was it was not fair.
And that's not on Arbsfeld. That's on Shorts. Arbsfeld just submits the puzzle. Shorts puts it where it belongs.
You're saying you don't think Shorts says you give me a Thursday?
I really don't. No, I think you submit a puzzle and Shorts decides the degree of difficulty. Now,
I don't know about that.
If you have any insight onto that, shoot us a DM,
please,
on Twitter or on Instagram at One Down Podcast. Shoot us a DM if you know. Does Shorts specifically, do you turn in a puzzle as this is a Thursday, this is a Wednesday, or is Shorts slotting them in where he believes they go?
We're finally going to hear from Shorts. I think this is when we'll finally figure out whether he listens to our podcast or not.
Yes. Now, 13 down, Greg. Little bit of personality. This is a tick.
Yeah.
Try telling that to a person with Tourette's, okay?
Yeah. Oh, personality? Oh,
yeah.
That's what you're calling this?
Yeah.
Personality?
Steve's got this little personality quirk where he yells the F word in the grocery store. It's this charming little personality trait of his.
Let's go to Friday, man. Let's go to Friday.
All right. Friday, April 17th. This was a Robin Weintraub. Now, let me tell you, Greg, here's the thing. This Friday essentially should have been the Wednesday, I think.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. I thought it was easier than that Wednesday.
It wasn't Wednesday easy. I think it was easier than the Wednesday and the Thursday, but it wasn't Wednesday easy.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. This was just a difficult week.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I guess he's still, everybody's at home. They got a little extra time. Let's just hammer them. I don't think that's the way you play it.
No,
Shorts.
I don't think so either.
I don't like it at all.
7 down, noted characteristic of a corpse flower. That's odor. And I think that probably raised some red flags for the scientist that named that when they discovered it and go,
scientist.
I think we ought to. This thing smells a lot like a rotting corpse.
Yeah.
How do
Raise
you-
some flags for that scientist. How do you think? How do you think my prom date felt junior year?
I've got
I
you.
go to some florist. He gives me a break on this flower. I didn't have a lot of money back then. I got a giant wrist corsage, and it was a disaster, Brendan.
Does this under the moon winter formal smell like a rotting body to anyone else? No, just shut up. Nobody smell my date's corsage. Everyone shut up. Nothing smells like anything.
39, it's palindromic animal, and the answer is you. EUE, of course. They use this term all the time. I don't. They should just say animal, because if there's going to be an animal, it's going to be a you. No other animals make it into the crossword puzzle ever. They're overusing you.
They've got to, though, because they need those two E's.
No, they don't. You get a little more creative, okay? I could have put tiger in here easily.
You easily could have fit tiger into a 3-letter answer.
Yeah, I could do it.
I believe it, man. I believe it. Yeah, they do. They lean on you heavy. You is more useful in a crossword than it is as an animal.
Oh,
frankly.
yeah.
What is anyone doing with ewes anymore? Goat's milk? Is that what that is?
Yeah, I think on Sunday they're milking them. I'm not sure.
Now, 43 across, they had fermented feed. That's silage. Now, you know more about farm stuff than I do.
A little bit.
They're getting these cows drunk, Greg?
I wasn't aware of that. I went out and interviewed some farmers for a project, but we didn't get into drunk cows.
Yeah, ferment. That's what ferment means, right?
I think so. It's alcohol. Yeah.
That's right. I had no idea. Well, good for those cows, but I mean, you're going to get some, you know what, Larry? I'm sick of being looked at as just a piece of meat. They just look at me like I'm a piece of meat. I'm more than that. Larry.
Man, that's the best cow impression I've ever heard, Brendan.
Is that a good drunk cow?
For a second, I was like, is there a drunk cow in this room with me? And then I remembered, no, I'm just doing a podcast with Brendan. There's no drunk cow. That was you did a deer. You did a bell deer last week, and now you're doing a drunk cow.
Ding dong,
Yeah,
boys.
Brendan, what if that deer ever met this cow?
Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong, Larry.
They want to quiet it down?
Want to keep it down over there? I'm trying to moo. All they ever want for you. Oh, hey, Larry, why don't you say moo? Why don't you say moo? Huh? Why don't you say moo for once, Karen?
I don't even know why we're going to continue. Let's keep moving. But I mean, wow, we can't top a drunk cow talking to a bell deer. Jeez, Rizzo. 37 across. That's Lucy Blank Hayes, First Lady. The answer is Webb. That's Lucy Rutherford Hayes. Or Lucy Webb Hayes was married to Rutherford B. Hayes.
Yes.
And Lucy, you know anything about her?
I know nothing about her, and I'm hoping you're going to educate me.
Very progressive. She had the first African-American musician in the White House. Also a big advocate of the temperance movement. Historians referred to her as Lemonade Lucy. She wasn't called Lemonade Lucy at the time, but retroactively they called her Lemonade Lucy.
Interesting. Very interesting. So she was now. When was Rutherford B. Hayes? He was way before Prohibition, right? So
he's in the 1840s or something like that.
Oh, so that her temperance movement didn't quite catch on.
Nah, it took a while.
Took a while. 47 down. home to 0 World Cup winners, surprisingly. And that was Asia, and I think you could have dropped the surprisingly. I've never been sitting around going, you mean international soccer powerhouse Cambodia has never taken home the cup?
Yeah, you know more about soccer. You're a very accomplished soccer player. Are they supposed to be good? I think that maybe South Korea was good at in the women's. Maybe they might have got second.
They're getting better. They're getting better, but much like the United States, it's not traditional soccer countries. So
right.
It's just
I wasn't
to me,
surprised.
That's not surprising. It's not surprising at all. They are getting better. Japan is good. South Korea is good, but they're not traditional soccer countries, so it's not much of a surprise. But I think we got to roll along, right? Do we have to
we do.
keep it moving? Saturday, April 18th. This was a Ryan McCarty. Way easier than Wednesday or Thursday, I thought. Way easier, Greg.
Yeah, I think I could get behind you on that. I wish you wouldn't say that because it's one of the few Saturdays I've got in a while. So you sort of
no, that's not true. You've been actually banging out Saturdays pretty good. I think.
I got it. 41 down, unbroken. The answer, of course, is feral. Brendan, you remember that time you fed that feral cat in Omaha, and the cat kept coming to the condo and you got in trouble with the club owner?
No, I don't, because you did that. Don't. Oh, Greg has tried to ruin my career with this lie. The Omaha Funny Bone, of course, one of the most prestigious comedy clubs in the country, managed by a great friend of Greg's and mine, and just one of the nicest women in comedy,
Colleen Quinn.
Yes, one of the best. And Greg, there were cats. There was a construction site across from the condo where I was staying, and there were cats. There were feral cats in the construction site. Both Greg and I were a little concerned for these cats because despite our hardened exteriors, we both have hearts. Greg asked what cats eat because he doesn't know cats. So I told him cat food. And then
this guy's good. He's like Dr. Doolittle. I think he speaks to the animals.
So then Greg drove to the grocery store on his own. I did not accompany him. On his own, and put out cat food in a plate in the garage of the condo. The cats then moved in, which was a problem for the club. They did not want feral cats living in the garage of the condo. What does Greg do? Greg tells Colleen that I enticed the cats into the condo's garage, and I am fully responsible for the cats now living in the condo's garage.
and she's convinced you did it. And I think you did. Now that
what do you mean? You think I did?
I don't remember these details. It's a long time ago, but all I know is at the time I was the headliner. You were the opening act. You're going to take the hit. Okay, that's the way the world works.
Well, and I did take the hit. That's for sure. Now
I think I remember one. There's something else that happened on that trip. It was like your first time working there, and you were like, "Hey, man, I don't know what Colleen would think about this. I'm worried she thinks this." And I was like, "Oh yeah, man, don't worry about it. Nobody's going to tell her." And then I called Colleen right there. I was like, "Hey, Brendan's whining about this." You're like, "Oh, come on, man."
Yeah.
I can't remember what
did happen.
I wish I remember the
man,
specifics about it.
That was a worthless story without either of us
I know, with no details,
was.
That story sucked, man.
Yeah, but it is true. That did happen. 16 across, warn of disaster, and that's to cry havoc. I think these days you got to be a little more specific.
Havoc! Havoc!
Yeah,
Havoc!
yeah.
Havoc!
Hark there! I cry havoc!
There is
havoc!
What is wrong? Can you just explain to me what's wrong?
No.
Havoc!
Havoc approaches, I say. Havoc!
What is it? What? A tornado? A rabid dog? What is it?
Now, 45 across, masculine name that sometimes follows Mac. That's Neil. I mean, that's a man's name. I don't know.
I've always considered myself very masculine. I've been a certified public accountant for several years, and I work out at the gym at least 3 times a week. I play chess with my friends, and sometimes we hoist a few beers back.
Yeah, see, Neil, I don't know that I'd call you. You're a man. You're a man, that's for sure.
I am.
Just don't
I'm
know
a very
that
masculine man.
I don't know
name.
that I'd say masculine, Neil.
Mm-hmm. Well, your name's not Neil. Mm-hmm.
I actually. Oh, whoa, hold on. Actually, Greg, can we hold for a second? I'm getting a call that I have to take.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Seems I would
Hello?
rather you.
Hello?
Yeah.
You saying walking on the moon is not masculine, boy?
No. Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Who is it?
It's Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, my
Brendan.
name is Neil Armstrong, and I walked on the moon, boy.
Yeah, man.
You trying to come on a podcast and tell me I'm not masculine? I'll punch you in your face, boy.
Yeah, that's apparently Neil Armstrong and Yosemite Sam are very similar characters.
That's one small step for man, one punch in the face for you, boy.
This is a real treat. We had Neil Armstrong on the podcast today. Let's move it up to Sunday, man.
Sunday, April 19th. This was a Jack Mowat and Jeff Chen. The title was Of Course, and it was a bunch of golf puns. I'll give you one example. Duffers approach shots that barely go anywhere, and the answer was microchips. So you had a bunch of those, basically, which is a fun little Sunday theme, a little punny story told about golfers.
What's Chen got in on 2 puzzles this week?
Chen got in on 2 puzzles. Answer me this. You think if you do is there a per puzzle rate? For instance, if you're doing a duo, do you just get half the money?
If you're working with a guy like Agard or Salmers, they're going to get 80% of the dough. Those guys are.
Oh yeah.
Those guys are experienced. They're not rookies. Those guys have earned it, I believe. You don't just come in and get half of Salmers' money or Agard's money.
I think we see Chen paired up a lot.
Yeah,
and I got a theory about that. I think Chen around the office, they call him the fixer. I think they go, look, this John Clark Levine, the kid's got promise, but he turned in this Wednesday. It's a little sloppy. Bring in Chen. Bring in Chen.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
I think
what you
so.
think,
I think that's why he's getting all these co-credits. They say bring in Chen, straighten this thing out. I think it's usable, but we need Chen's touch on this thing because Jack Mowat. When have we heard from him before? But
that's one theory, Brendan. That's one theory. You know what some of the other guys are saying?
What?
Chen just gloms on. You do 90% of the work. Chen gives you 1 or 2 words. He's like, yeah, we both did the puzzle, 50-50. No, Jeff, you just did one. You gave me 1 clue. You don't half get the puzzle.
You gave me 1 clue, and it was you, Chen. Everyone knows to use you. 60 across was showing signs of neglect, and the answer was seedy, which I guess makes sense.
No.
No. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's not the same thing. Like, hey, that pool hall where they sell heroin in the back room is really showing signs of neglect lately.
Exactly. It's that those places started off bad. I think.
Yeah, that nobody neglected them. Nobody.
Yeah. We all knew. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, that non-name brand motel near the airport has really gone down in quality lately.
It wasn't. Yeah. 70 years ago, maybe it was new, and then they neglected it for 20 years, and then for the last 50, it's been bad. It's been bad the whole time, and it's when you say showing neglect, you're assuming that they're going to fix. They're never going to fix it, man.
No,
they're not going to fix it.
Nobody comes in and says, no angel investor comes into the Sleepy Nights Inn and goes, I think we probably got to get some of these prostitutes out of here and maybe fix the sign.
I did not get Sunday, and
it was tough.
It was real hard. I spent 3 hours on this puzzle and still didn't get it. I had like 2 problems. That's 3 hours, man. It's not good. 47 down. Dance that men do without their shirts on, and the answer is hula. And for some reason, I had it as a hora, which is the Jewish wedding dance, and I was like, "Hey, my cousin is Jewish, and I've been to a lot of those weddings. Those guys, Saul had his shirt on, and yeah, my Uncle Dick had his shirt on. My dad's Jewish; he had his shirt on. Hula, I got it.
Yeah. In fact, if you're doing the hora with your shirt off, somebody's going to ask you to leave the wedding.
They do.
You've gone a little too far there. Had a little too much Manischewitz, if you know what I mean. 12 down. This would not fly these days, Greg. Blue tune in a white dress. And that's tune as in Toon. That's Smurfette.
Yeah.
Smurfette. You know what all the rest of the Smurfs were named?
They had their own names, right?
Yeah, you got clumsy, grouchy, brainy, hefty, jokey, gutsy, handy, hardy. It goes on. It goes on.
And she's just girl.
Yeah. She's just girl Smurf.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they were not woke. The Smurfs.
Also, I don't know what was going on in Smurfland. I don't know what it was called where the Smurfs lived, but you're going to need more than one woman to have a society, I think.
Yeah. She was the only one they ever talked about, right?
She was the only one there, as far as I could tell. So
there weren't a lot of other girl Smurfs, I don't think.
No. So that's a problem. I don't really want to know the details of how that was running, but
Yeah, I do, man. Let's move on.
Well,
113. No, go ahead.
No, you please. I cut you off.
113. Something consumed with a cracker. That's a walnut. Brendan, you ever tried to crack a walnut?
I have. Yeah, I'll tell you.
It's impossible. And here's what you're going to consume: a millimeter piece of walnut and an inch piece of walnut shell. That's what you're going to consume. It's impossible, man. It's really hard. I do it at Christmas. It's whoever's cracking these walnuts, because I buy walnuts all the time, shelled walnuts. Whoever's doing that, they're doing a lot. I hope they're getting paid well.
Well, here's the thing: is they've invented a walnut cracker, right?
Yeah.
But like you're saying, you're 100% right, and I've never really thought of this. They've yet to invent the walnut shell only cracker. It cracks the whole thing, Greg.
Oh yeah, they don't. Yeah, and that's where actually I have the patents on this, so it doesn't matter that I can discuss it. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of work on that lately. I have specialized nut crackers, and we're just looking for some funding. You can DM me for that too. But yeah, I need an angel investor. Yeah.
That's huge because all you're doing, you put your walnut in a nut cracker. You're cracking everything, and you're mashing it up into one big cracked pile of crack. And you like you said, your throat's going to be ripped apart by a tiny shred. The hardest shells in the game, by the way. And so forget about it. You're absolutely right. I can't believe I missed that one. It's infuriating. 90. I didn't write this correctly. Either 99 down or 91 down. Like a Wunderkind, or I think it's German.
That's 99 down. That's 99 down.
Wunderkind is German. That's gifted. Now, did you ever see the story of the gifted child, the Wunderkind, little man Tate?
I didn't.
I didn't.
Oh, so Little Man Tate is a movie actually with Jodie Foster where she's I believe a single mother who has this genius son, super genius son. Now, Little Man Tate lived on my hall freshman year of college, and I will tell you this about him: he does not like to be called Little Man Tate.
You guys did that?
I didn't know his name.
Was he? This was after the movie. He was already famous.
He was in the movie when he was 10.
Okay.
No, he wasn't famous. He never did anything else. He was in college studying who knows what, but he did not.
So did you get good grades in college?
I didn't ask him. He didn't like me because I called him Little Man Tate.
Ah, man. Jeez. Wow. He really was?
Yeah.
This is Little Man Tate. Did you know his name?
No. That's the thing. Guy got all mad, but it's like, I don't know your name, so I'm calling you Little Man Tate. If I was in a movie, I'd love to be called that. If I was Rufio from Hook, I'd love to be called Rufio. But this guy didn't appreciate his cinematic exploits. Apparently.
40 across. Tiny insects in a swarm. Those are midges. And I don't think that's the politically correct term for them. It's little bugs, I believe, is what they like to be referred to as.
Those. Hey, look! It's a midge. Look at that little midge.
Yeah, you don't say that anymore, Brendan. You don't say that.
Yeah, shut up, midge.
No. They don't like that at all, man. What did that guy just call us? That guy just called me a midge.
Yeah, I called you a midge, you little
swarm
midge.
Swarm him! It's little bug!
We got to wrap up here in a second, but 24 down. That's ankle biter.
Yeah,
and that's a rug rat,
right?
And I do understand that is a nickname. But if your toddler is going around biting people's ankles,
and I want to meet that kid, that kid's gonna be an MMA fighter.
You have got to get that guy into therapy.
No,
ASAP.
you don't.
Oh.
No, you don't. Encourage it. That kid's gonna be an MMA fighter, and he's going to be famous. Yeah,
no, you have a psychopath on your hands.
Oh my God, John! He bit Uriah Faber's ankles. Is that legal?
Now, Greg, can I finish on the fifth Brendan's inappropriate?
No. Oh man, what? Go ahead.
This is the fifth
Why
one
do you
of the
do
day.
this, man? We've said that's not what this podcast is.
Well, I'm walking PG-13, we've said. PG-13, and I keep it that way. Now, 112 across was cool in an uncool way, and that's HEP.
Yeah.
And you know what's even more uncool? If you add C.
CHEP?
At the end.
Hepatitis C?
Yeah, Hep C. Way less cool.
I don't think that's inappropriate. That's a thing that people get. Hep C. I don't think it's inappropriate.
Oh, okay.
You said 30 things that were way more inappropriate on this podcast than that. That's it's not particularly funny, but it's appropriate.
Pretty funny, I think. Hep C.
Hep C. Yeah, that's how you wanted to end the podcast?
Nope. I think you should come with something better.
I'm going to come with something. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I'm sorry. Usually we end on a high note. Usually Brendan ends the podcast, but this has been One Down with Greg Warren and Brendan Eyre. If you could find it in the goodness of your heart, please rate us, review us, and hit that submit button. It really, really helps.
It's not submit.
Yeah, it's not submit. It's what is it?
Hit that submit button if you can find it, guys. You will not be able to, but
subscribe. Subscribe is what I meant to say. Subscribe. If you want to submit, fine. But actually, I submit. This has been One Down.
One Down is hosted by Greg Warren and Brendan Eyre, produced and edited by John Baldwin. Our theme song is written and performed by Henry Phillips. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast.
One Down, the comedy crossword podcast.